The Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat, the CTBUH, is an international not-for-profit organization supported by architecture, engineering, planning, development, and construction professionals. Every year, CTBUH holds at least one international conference and a World Congress every 4 to 5 years. These events are held in relevant cities around the world that boast some of the world's tallest buildings. Just a few weeks ago, CTBUH hosted its 9th World Congress in Shanghai, China. MCI Group was excited to be selected as the professional Congress organizer for this event, and we wanted to share some highlights as well as some general tips for anyone doing business or large meetings in Shanghai. I'm thrilled to be interviewing Vivian Zhang, the director of the PCO division of the MCI Group in China and the lead account manager for this event, as well as Sammy Liu, the Business Development Director of the PCO Division of the MCI Group in China. Thank you both so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yes, and Vivian, how large was the World Congress this year?
Oh, wow. This year we got 860 delegates, and we got plenary, we got 4 breakouts, so it's big scale of the Congress for CTBUH this year.
Yeah, great. And when did CTBUH secure the space for the event? About when did they start working with MCI as a professional Congress organizer?
Actually, CTBUH, they secured the space 1 year before the Congress. And our first meeting with the CEO of the association is in 2011 February.
Oh, okay, great. And is that a typical time frame for U.S. associations that want to book into Shanghai?
Yes, it's really typical U.S. association. They used to secure the space and obviously one and a half year before the Congress.
Okay. All right. And Sammy, what aspects of the event did MCI handle? Did you have a local host society or did you work primarily with the U.S.-based headquarter office?
Well, we do work quite a lot with the U.S. Society directly. They do have a local steering committee, but the steering committee's effort is more for how to find the sponsorships, how to really link to the government support, how to really help with the delegates boosting, the marketing efforts. But in the meantime, the U.S. client, the U.S. association, they work on everything. I mean, from the program, even to the logistics. So they look over to the entire conference. For MCI, we do provide a lot of local supports to the client. We do registrations, we do speak managements, we do sponsorships and exhibition fulfillment. Also, we do this. A lot of the marketing efforts. So that is basically how we work.
Okay, great. And is this standard, or do you find yourselves working, most times with the local societies?
I mean, it is quite variety from the association to association. So, like CTBUH, they right now is they step into China only in 2011. Before that, they have just local representatives and some local members. So, on this case, they more rely on themselves to putting more internationalized standards to this conference because it is also a world congress. But from the other associations, they may have already some of the local counterparties they can work with. So some conference they do more like a joint efforts for the Congress. So it's quite variety.
Okay.
Actually.
Oh, well, great. And was anything unusual about this event that MCI had to focus on more than with other groups?
Well, I have to say, basically the service frame is basically the same. But CTBUH really remains a very high standard, and the entire team is put a lot of attention on every detail pieces. I mean, that is really good. And also in the meantime, I think my team here in China is also learning a lot from the CTBUH. That is a great, also a pleasure experience for both of each other.
Right. Oh, I can imagine. And how often did staff from the U.S. come to Shanghai prior to World Congress? Was that the standard, or?
Actually, there's executive director of CTBUH come to Shanghai around 4 times during the 1.5 year, right?
Yes, correct.
He's firstly to I think he do is every 3 or 4 months like this trip.
Mm-hmm.
But also when they have just during in 2011 October they have a yearly conference in Seoul. So our team, like Vivian, me, and another key project manager, is going over to Seoul to observe the Congress, to get the experience of the Congress, to talk to the client directly, so we can really touch base quite closely on how the conference will be going and what is their expectation and standards. But in the meantime, for his trip to China, we also take a lot of benefits on that because he also go to visit those key potential sponsors of Chinese companies. He visit a lot of government representatives. He also, call for some frequent meeting during for the local steering committee. That is really helpful.
Yeah, I bet. And is that the standard amount that he would travel, or is this unusual? Is it more or less?
It is actually quite standardized the frequency, but some associations will do less. But in fact, we do expect they can do a little bit more, like CTBUH.
Okay, great. And how did CTBUH handle the language issue? Obviously, the event is conducted in English, but did CTBUH do anything special for those speaking Mandarin or any other languages?
Sure. Actually, CTBUH, they did a lot of efforts for this Chinese, for the Congress in Shanghai, because, in China, there's not really, for delegates, their English language, probably they can communicate. But for, let's say, for 3 days Congress, they might be tired, at the last 2 days. So we have the simultaneous interpreters from the first day to the end, and all of the materials proceedings we translate into Chinese. So that's take a lot of efforts and a lot of time on it before the Congress.
And I know there's something called a FAPIO, and can you just tell us about that and what we as U.S. planners need to know about it?
You mean the FAPIO, right?
Yes.
The Chinese invoice. Yes, correct. Actually, it's quite typical questions that from international associations that come to China. Probably the first financial questions is about FAPIO. FAPIO is very typical invoice in China. It's the official one.
Okay.
And yes, so all of the Chinese delegates, all of the sponsors, exhibitors from China, they all request for FAPIO.
Okay. Well, great. And what are some tips that you can share with U.S. Association executives that will assure them of a successful conference in Shanghai or other cities in China?
Well, I think, we do have some recommendations for the U.S. clients to step into China. Firstly, we always will recommend our client to apply the conference license. This is certain of document issued by the local government. Probably it will suit different authorities, but that is very important to a conference. The reason is we need to apply the visa for international delegates. We need to arrange those custom shipping issues for our exhibitors from the overseas. So the conference license is really vital to everything.
And I know,
applying the conference license can suit to different authorities, and it is really by a case-by-case basis. So we should say, but you still need to have these in your plan or budget prior to come to the China. Most of the cases, our US client, they will work with their local partner, or they will use some PCO to organize such a conference and license for them. So just need to plan this really, really ahead.
Okay.
The second recommendation is we think if the association is the first time to step into China, we always recommend you to contact the local tourism bureau. For example, like Shanghai or Beijing, those major cities of China, we have very strong local tourists. The local tourism bureau, they even already set up such a division just to working with the overseas clients. They encourage quite a lot of international meetings and conferences to China. So by using these efforts, they can really bring or link the U.S. clients, U.S. association to the hotel facility or to the local PCOs. That will be saving you a lot of time to avoiding you really shopping around. Right. So that's really important. Another thing we think is you always, for a U.S. association, you always want to choose a right local partner, to choose a right business working module with your local partner. Sometimes you can find the mutual interest between each other and also can enhance the scientific program to really find the balance of what is the Chinese people really interested about and what is the most important information you want to bring into China. So find a local partner is really vital. Last but not least, I also think it is crucial for you to find the right meeting planner or PCO to work with. PCO, it is not really dealing with logistic issues, but also the right PCO can help you with handling a lot of technical issues like registration, like the financial management, tax consultants. All of those things are really important. And I know China is like a strange and foreign mystery country. A lot of U.S. associations. But don't be nervous on that. As long as you find the right partner, you can get it too.
Right. And just lastly, how does hosting a conference in Shanghai and Beijing compare to other Asian cities?
Well, we will always say, Shanghai and Beijing, to me, it is my hometown. But to a lot of international delegates, it is such mystery and nice places. And a lot of conferences now choose Shanghai or Beijing because both cities are really hot destinations. International delegates just cannot stop themselves to step into those cities to look at, what is China is about. So from the destination point of view, they are very attractive. But also for a conference organizing point of view, I think Shanghai and Beijing are very easygoing cities. We have great facilities. We have easy traffic. The flights can connect to any cities around the world. And also we have a lot of people speak great English. So this is a great and beautiful cities. So just welcome.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming soon. I'm definitely hoping we see more and more events and conferences being held in both of those cities. So thank you both so much for meeting with us today. And to learn more, please visit growglobally.org.